Hello, everybody. I'm your host today in my own show, Dare to Dream. My name is Williamson. I'm international intuitive, evidential medium, and psychic. And my shows are every 2 weeks, so you can work it out when the next one is. But look at that. CC's brilliant. July the 5th. And I want to tell you a little story. I went to see a very gifted friend of mine because I had an idea of watching some of his posts on videos on the internet with my wife. And some of the words he was using triggered something inside of me, and I had to go and see him. I messaged him. I'm not going to mention names because it's private. And in the end, I went to see him, and it was going to be 10 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't think we'd be talking all that long. I expect about half an hour, pushing an hour. We were talking for an hour and a half. And the conversation was so enlightening. We think on so much similar levels and our own little personal twists on how we perceive things. And I wanted to know if he could do recordings of channeling. And he came back with the difference between the channeling and trance. I knew it, but he reminded me. And I want to thank him for that deeply. And I've been showing you for the last over a year now on this channel, in my show, Dare to Dream, about mediumship and psychic work. And a lot of people have been going to psychics and mediums to get information from their loved ones, which is marvelous, which is what we as mediums and psychics would like you to do, to prove continuity of life after the change called death. Because there is no doubt in my heart, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, I know there's life after death. And my shows have all been related to this. And do you know the difference between channeling and trance? Well, channeling, people say, oh, I'm getting your aunt, uncle, and such coming through. Hang on a minute. We have to take a step back. I'm afraid a lot of people have forgotten, mediums and psychics alike, are forgetting that you have to evaluate and prove that that is that person. Just saying a name isn't enough. It has to be more detailed. Characteristics, mannerisms, speech patterns, what they actually did, when they did it, where they did it. And when a medium gets himself ready, intentionally ready to work with spirit, their guides, their personal guides. I've had my guides, which are my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, my dad, my father, and my brother-in-law now. I've got 6. They come around. I know their energy. I know their inflections, characteristics. I know them. It's not I believe in them. It's I know them. And I always have set my intention prior to doing my work. I ask for positivity. I safeguard. And all I give is positivity to my recipients, which are you. And in person, on the phone, whatever reading I'm doing, you are my recipients. And you have to be sure. You can't say, oh, I'm thinking of a Joe Bloggs coming in. Oh, hang on, I'm getting Archangel Michael. I'm getting Jesus. I'm getting this, getting that. It's possible. But how do you know that that spirit coming in is actually that person that they pertain to be, or you perceive them to be? You've got to prove it to yourself first. Because on the spirit realm, there's good and bad, positive and negative. And that is only in perception to how you are and how you feel and the situation you're in. It means it's going to be okay for you, or it's not going to work for you. It's not good and evil. There is good and evil, but it's how you perceive it to be. We are in heaven on earth. We create our own hell. There's some of the terminology that comes out. And you've got to be careful. There's a lot of deceivers in spirit. Those that want to be incarnated. They want to come onto this earth and be known. But they don't do it the right way. They do it through a medium. Not psychic. They come through the medium. And that's where you've got to be careful. Do you know who's coming through you? It's a serious business being a medium, because a medium is answerable by law for what they do and say. And there's a lot of governing bodies to try and train people to be mediums of a higher caliber. You don't just get a certification and say, that's it, you're on your own, which does happen. But the medium that is really true to their faith in spirit always checks up, always makes sure that their intentions are honorable. This is my opinion, my experience. I have to be sure. I have to be positive. I have to make sure what I give you is true to the best of my ability. And whatever comes through me, whatever's channeled through me, the spirit information, is going to be honest. If it's not, boom. My guides protect me. They make sure whoever comes into the field of energy around my guides, trying to come through to me as a person, they make sure that I'm safe. And only those I allow to come through. You make no mistake, the medium has to allow themselves to be used as a channel, the conduit, spirit coming through to use their voice, to use their mannerisms, to express the spirit's voice and mannerisms. Channeling is serious. And a medium has to allow the spirit some degree of control. Some, very little. Because my ego, myself, my spirit is there making sure what's coming through is limited. I don't want them to control me completely. That's in the trance side. And even that is under certain limitations. And when you're channeling, you have to have a time. And when you're doing trance work, you have to have a timing. You have to know what you can use in your ability, your energy. Because every person is like a dynamo, a battery of energy. And that is yours. But when you're working with spirit, you shouldn't be using your own energy. Think about it. I want to be a conduit for spirit. I want their energy to be working through me. So I'm not depleted of energy. Because it drains you physically if you allow yourself to be used by them. They say, I'll use your energy. No. You want to work through me? You work through me and replenish my energy as you are using me to that limited degree. I'm allowing you to channel things through me. I hope that makes it a little bit clearer for you, because I've seen too many people that say they're mediums, and psychics say they're mediums, and messages from me, from loved ones, and they're not. They are just make-believe. I'm getting this spirit coming through. As soon as they start, hang on a minute. Keep your feet on the ground. You've got to be grounded. You've got to be real. You've got to be prepared to allow the energy to flow through you, not into you, stop by a certain level and bounce back up again. You've got to be real. You're a human being. You have a spirit within you that is connected with all energy of spirit. That energy that spreads from your physical body, your auric field. Your vibration has to be high enough for spirit to come down to meet you, and you have got to meet them to a certain degree. by being positive, honest, truthful, empathy with them, compassion, love, care. All these things you've got to raise within yourself. It doesn't make you holier than thou. It's just my intent is to be better for good, not for negative, not for self, not for ego. Because as soon as you use your ego, that's self, you're lowering your vibration. Or I'm going to tell these people, I know, Archangel Gabriel's coming through. Or Michael, whoever. Oh, he's here. Look, I'm going to tell you all about him. I read a lot about Michael in the Bible and Gabriel. I've seen a lot of films. I know a lot about it. See, it doesn't make it real. Some mediums do bring through the archangels, even Jesus. They bring through so much physical proof of these entities, these spirit entities. But they are positive in what they do. They have proved what they do. Channeling is a beautiful gift that we all do in some degree or another. But the intention you set has to be high. It has to be honest, truthful. And then where you can do that is being honest and truthful to yourself first. I'm very passionate about truth and communication. Clarity of communication matters to me. This is one of my quirks. I try to be clear in what I'm stating. This is my experience, what I've learned. And from my friend, for that hour and 30 minutes, we were chatting away. And it was like I was talking to myself and he was talking to himself. And it was clarifying some of the things that we felt, wanted to share. And it was beautiful. I just can't praise this guy enough. But out of respect, I'm not giving him his name. He can say it. And if he gives me permission to say it, I will. But until then, it's out of respect for his gifts. I hope what I've said about channeling is a little bit clear for you, or clearer for you, sorry. Trance work is a little bit different. That's allowing more control of you, the medium. We get configuration, facial changes, even full upper body. People who know about ectoplasm and stuff like that, there's not many people that do ectoplasm sessions where the energy of the spirit overlays the medium and you see the figuration of the spirit. I'm swallowing a lot because spirit are using my voice. I've given them a permission to use my voice. And that's why when I do my shows, I normally give them permission to channel. But I'm talking about trance work as well, which is just as important. Trance is allowing that bit more permission to use my vocal cords, to use who I am physically to convey their message. And trance should never be done on the medium's own. There should be somebody he trusts, or a male, female friend, or a timer. Because when you're doing trance, you have given more of your persona, your physicality, your spirit allowance to the spirit coming in. And so I'm stepping aside, I'm moving over so they can use you. You can still watch yourself, which is quite funny, of being out of body, watching yourself talking. It's like, oh, this is great. And it is. But sometimes it's difficult to say enough. I feel I've done my bit. I want to come back into myself. I want to be Graham again. And the only way to do that sometimes is a timer that beeps, clock, alarm clock or something, or a keyword from a friend. You set all this out with your intention prior to doing trance or channeling. Both is best to time until you find out what, as a medium, you can cope with that energy flowing through you. Is it enough energy to keep you active and feeling okay? or does it make you feel drained? And as my friend and I talked about, sometimes a medium can only take 10 minutes, then 15 and 20 by practice. And you can get it up to whatever you feel comfortable. Half an hour normally, 45 minutes is possible, even an hour. But after that, how does the medium feel after doing such channeling and trance work? You have to be careful not to deplete your own physical energy, your auric energy, your field, your spirit. Because spirit have no limitation. They live in a world, for want of a better phrase, level, world, whatever, where energy is free. Our bodies are limited with energy. That's why we eat, sleep, and try and look after ourselves, keep our energy at peak, looking after ourselves at peak. But our spirit side is connected to spirit up there, or wherever you want to call it. And they will not purposely negatively drain your energy if you so allow it. And I'm sorry, I don't want anybody fully controlling me for very long periods. My average is half an hour to an hour. But it took me years to attain that level of, pardon the term, endurance. I understand what is my energy, how my energy feels when I give permission to channel and to do trance. Because I know what my body is capable of. I know my energy. I always eat, drink plenty, rest before I do my show. So I'm peak optimum prime to do this. Because I take this work that I do, and it is work to me, but it's a pleasure to teach you about life after death and what you could be capable of doing. I was going to show, my show was going to be how to enhance your spiritual connection. That was the show booked for today. But because I saw my friend earlier in the week, I contacted CC and said, I can't do that yet. That's going to be the next show. Because this is more important to understand the next show. Trance work is stepping aside your ego completely. Channeling is stepping aside completely. It's not about ego. The second the medium thinks and concentrates on what he's saying, doing, or whatever, he's stepping in front of the spirit, breaking that connection, that true connection. He is not channeling what the spirit's saying. The medium, by experience and trust with his guides protecting him and allowing this entity to work through him or her, make sure you are being safe. Because time in spirit is vastly different from time here. When you're in spirit, by experience, I know that their time clock is 24/7, every minute of every day. Their unlimited power resource is around them. But to energize onto this level, our physical level, takes a lot more energy that entity, that spirit, has on his own, or her own, or its own. Because they connect with our vibration. They come down to our vibration. We have to be meeting them as best we can. The more energy we have to connect with spirit, the easier it is for both parties, spirit and the medium, to work. Because we don't think about it. Literally, we do not think about it. Channeling is allowing what information that the medium feels comfortable with. Because a part of me is still concentrating on that. Do I feel comfortable with what is being said? That's all I'm concentrating on. And to do that, you have to know yourself. I've said this in many of my videos. You have to know yourself. Don't do this work on your own, channeling and trance. Don't. You have to have people around you that you trust and love. Love is one of the greatest connections we can ever have. We can take love with us when we transcend. Trust, we have to earn each time we use it, or that connection. But if you've got love in your heart for those that you feel comfortable with, it's easy to maintain it. How many people, and I'm guilty, I've been married, this is my third marriage. I gave love, but then it was broken. But it didn't hold me back for long, because I realized it was partly my fault and partly the opposite person's fault. I've learned to trust myself first in a positive way. And I don't think I maintain a negative aspect about things that went wrong in my past. I've accepted my past and grown from it. And that's why I'm here today, because I've moved on. I've learned to trust myself. I've learned to love myself better without saying, oh, I'm better than anybody else. No, I'm not. I'm at the bottom of the ladder. But what I can give you is the knowledge about yourself, your own innate gifts, and how you could become a medium, how you could be a better psychic, how you could channel and do trance work. But you have to train yourself with people to do that. I live near Casadega. That's a beautiful place to visit. There's many gifted mediums there. And you can go to church service and get a mini reading in the church service. Then afterwards you go to the Andrew Jackson Davis building, and they have more in-depth readings by trainee mediums and mediums, and out-of-town mediums come in. And they give mini readings for about an hour to a group of people. You know, you just sit there and, can I come to you and give you a message? I've done that. I've been to Casadega. But the whole environment about Casadega is about learning life after death, mediumship, psychic work. I don't know where you live, wherever you are, what part of the country, what country you're in. I come from England. I've lived in, slow down. I get excited. I came from England 22 years ago. I trained in England to be medium. I went to different places, joined different societies, Spiritual National Union, went to all these different churches, then came over here in 2001, December. And I've been to American Spiritual Union, and I've been to Casadega, I've been to Morris Pratt Institute coursework online. I never actually went to the college, because it's too far away, it's up in New York for me. And I learned the American way. But you have to learn how to do things in your neck of the woods. I live in central Florida, and it's considered quite a Bible Belt, so I have to be careful not to upset people's beliefs. What's that got to do with channel and trance? Can you imagine going to a devout believer in another religion, and you say, oh, I've got your uncle coming through. Oh, that's evil work. Some people believe it is. And you have to respect that. You might not agree with it, but you've got to respect it. You see, when you know yourself truly and feel the energies around you, what impedes or touches your own auric energy or field, when you recognize, I'm getting a lot of stuff coming up from here at the moment, when you recognize stuff coming in to your field of energy, you've got to know where it's from. Is it from you or to you from something else? You've got to know. You can't believe it, or it might be, let me think of, no, it's either yes or a no. And by going to places that have good quality teachers, good quality mediums, good quality churches, because there are spiritual churches around, go to them and learn a bit. Learn about your gifts. But you can't copy somebody. To copy somebody, isn't going to work. You learn from that person, that tutor, that mentor, and you adapt your way. We are individuals. We're not sheep. We don't copy everybody. I'm certainly an individual. My friends will tell you, Graham, you do it different to me, and they do it different from me. But we respect each other's innate abilities. Channeling is a beautiful way of proving life after death. Trance work is more informative. And most times when you go into trance, it's to teach more spiritual information. And it's best to have a video and or recorder to do that sort of work, and even the channeling to do that as well. But as I say, channeling is just the voice mostly, and that's a little bit of control that I've given spirit. Trance work is a lot more, but I'm still watching and feeling, and you have to be truthful about it. Well, we'll be going on a break in a minute, but I want to say thank you for listening this far on my show Dare to Dream. And this is goingsolomedia.com. We are WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio, TV and Podcasts. I'm on every... I never said that this time. That's one of my friends. As I say, I can't do that sort of stuff. But this is why I enjoy doing what I do, because I want to teach you about you, your way. I just want to show you the door or an opportunity. And if you want to contact me, there's my email address, amedium77@gmail.com. Send me a text on email and I'll answer it as soon as I can. If you want to phone me, it's USA, Florida 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message and I will phone you back. Okay? Because if you don't leave a voice message, I'm sorry, I'm just going to ignore the call. We all have this problem with junk spam calls. And if you want further information, I actually have Facebook. Look Graham Williamson or Medium Graham Williamson on Facebook. I've got my page there. And you can message me, DM me that way or through Messenger. I am always available. I don't always get straight back to you, but I get back to you as soon as I can. So we're just about to go on break for a minute or two, but I want to tell you a bit of news. Going Solo, WGSN-DB Going Solo Network and Radio has reached nearly 5 million. It's definitely over 4 million this year alone. Think about that. All those people have been watching Going Solo Media. Thank you. It's all because of Cece, the lady who's working the bits behind. She's a producer. So I'm your host, Graham Williamson of International. I'm an international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic. This is my show, Dare to Dream. And I'll be back shortly.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact GoingSoloDirectory.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, I just love watching those adverts. I mean, I've seen how this show and Going Solo Media has grown. It's been phenomenal. I've been having a blast, and it's all due to CC Schatz. It's her brainchild, and it's gone phenomenally. And I just want to say thank you, CC. And all the other show hosts. There's such a variety of people on Going Solo Media for a variety of topics. Please go and have a look, because you will be amazed at the topics that could help you going through dilemmas, situations, to grow yourself, grow your business, whatever. Just to have a laugh. My wife actually calls me the comedic medium, because I always have a laugh when I'm doing my readings. Because when I channel, half the time people are sad because of somebody's passing, which is perfectly understandable. And I understand more than you realize the sadness that you feel. One of the things that I want to tell you about is my mother. I hadn't spoken to properly for a couple of years because we had a bit of a disagreement, kids with parents. And eventually, November, before I came over here, I managed to see her and we got a lot sorted, and it was beautiful. And I knew I wouldn't see my mother alive again. Why would I say that? Well, my mother was a rescue medium before she had 5 children. And you just know something's not going to work out. It's not believing, it's knowing something's not going to work out. And she needed to have an operation. It was a serious one. And we were positive. It wasn't all doom and gloom and all this stuff. Because I know my mother is still with me. Spirit. She comes round and she goes, I smell lilac, which is a plant that my grandmother used to have in front of the house where we used to live as children. We lived with our grandparents, my mum, 3 sisters and a younger brother. 3 older sisters, 1 younger brother at the time. And we learned about life after death. And this was very important, because when I came over in December, after seeing my mum and dad in November, I knew I wasn't seeing them again. But my mother was going to have a major operation. And we talked the night before her op for 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, she knew she wouldn't survive the operation. But if she didn't have the operation, her body would be in pain more than ever before. I believe it was a hip that she was having an operation on. It's been so long ago, it's over 20 years now. And she said, Graham, don't come to my funeral because you may not get back. Because I was going through immigration stuff. Because of the time difference in England, England's 5 hours in front of me. So there now it's 6:36 in Central Florida. In England, it's 11:36. So my mum passed away early hours of the morning over here. 9 o'clock in England, so it's 4 o'clock here. My wife was woken up by an unusual scent in the room, the bedroom. I was fast out. I have CPAP, I have a mask on. I can't smell anything. That's the trouble. I have big lungs. And in the morning, I woke up and I knew Mum had passed. She says, something happened last night. I said, well, a smell. And I said, oh, was it this smell? And I was for a note. It had, if you smell something, it's lilac. Mum's favourite scent. Mum comes through me. I channel my mother. I channel my grandmother. I channel my grandfather. I channel the three other people that are around me. And these people have been with me, my mum for 20 odd years now, my grandmother for 30 odd years, my grandfather even longer. They're the only ones I trust around me immediately. I allow them to use me, channel. Other spirits come through to my guides, or the people I've stated, and they're always with me, but it's one or the other, whatever's needed. And the spirits who want to come to use me have to go through them. I don't know how it works in spirit, but this is the best way I can explain it now. My guides allow them because they know me. I trust my guides. They trust me. They can see things I can't because they're in the spirit world. And they know what I'm going to allow. They know what I'm going to accept. I will not give a negative, period. If something's negative coming through, it stops before it gets to me. And if it gets to me, I make a informed decision to say no, or change the topic, or change the situation. My dog's screaming. And this is why when you channel as a medium, you have to know who you're channeling. You have to have the experience to allow that energy to work through you. You have to safeguard yourself because this is serious business, my friends, but it's so rewarding. When I finish my shows, they're only 45 minutes with a little gap for the break that we've just had. I'm all keyed up for hours afterwards because this is not my energy I'm using. I'm using the spirit energy. They're using me as a conduit. And it's difficult to say me or them. So forgive my terminology on that because I get so excited working with my guides. I channel my guides. That's how I'm able to do the shows so well. Because if I, Graham, step up, I'd have to write things out and say, or I've got to read it. So, it doesn't work that way for me. I can't work that way because I don't want Graham here. I want to channel the information from my guides, from whatever spirit's coming through to use me to help you become a better medium, better person, better psychic. Because my show is about daring to dream and living your dream, living your ambition, but doing it your own way. I love going solo. It doesn't mean being, as I said before, it doesn't mean being alone, but it means doing it your way. Dare you dream to do that? Dare you be true to yourself and not follow somebody else's pattern and say, I'm going to copy them and do that. We call it covering concerning music. One of my friends is a gifted singer and actress as well. Plus, she does angel cards. And we do Angels of Spirit on another channel once a month. She's in England, I'm here. And it's amazing how the energy is channeled. She does through the cards, I do the medium. And it's like dovetailing. She's herself, I'm myself. And we work together. And it's trust that we've built up over the years. And you've got to trust yourself first to channel, to do trance. And please, if you go to reading the first thing, say, oh, I'm doing this, get real. You can't instantly be in cuckoo land. That's my terminology. I have never met a very good medium who does this. Woo, look, I've got this. You're here as a service for spirit. The medium is the conduit for spirit to convey to loved ones. If your uncle, aunt, sister, brother, nephew, niece, friend, whatever comes through doing that, you say, he never did that stuff. Get real. Now, if anybody, when I pass over, I can guarantee I'm going to come back, do some silly stuff. As I say, my wife calls me the comedic medium. But it's with love. I've told off a quadriplegic. I told the story a couple of shows ago. And he used to come in with his wife and kids. And I saw spirit around him, knowing he could do more than what he was doing. He was using his wife. He didn't know that he was allowed to. And I got him to go shopping on his own while his wife disappeared for a bit with the kids for a couple of hours. He used to come in and shop, and we used to help him shop for a couple of hours. And his wife come back, pick up, no. But when he passed, he gave his wife permission to give me a card saying I treated him as a whole person with respect and dignity. But I tore into him when I first went and called him lazy, bleep, 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 bleep. And he was laughing. Now he's quadriplegic, he could only move his hands and his eyes, and he could smile, but he had breathing tube, colonoscopy. He was a quadriplegic. But he was chuckling because my energy was with compassion, with love, with care. I channeled that from people he knew. And people that know me know I love doing this to help you. Yes, it comes back on me, but I can handle that. I love making people happy. My job as a medium is to be positive. If you go to a medium and get a negative reading, think about why is that medium doing that? A medium's job is to be a conduit for spirit to help people, not hold them back, not tell them. You can give them medical intuition as well. You can give them information, but make it in a way that the recipient has a choice. When you channel, the medium has a choice. Doing trance work, the medium has a choice. If you want to come to me and have classes, lessons, I'm here. I'm your host, Graham Williamson, International Intuitive Evidential Medium and Psychic. I'm on every 2 weeks on a Wednesday. Next show, July the 5th at 6 o'clock EST. I love helping people not be afraid of the change that's going to affect us all. Each and every one of us are going to die. But I want to take with me as much love as I can carry, saying I did my best. And to help you, you can contact me on email, a medium, that's AMEDIUM 77, a medium, all one word, 77, at gmail.com. Send me an email and I'll reply to it. Or you can phone me. I'm USA, Florida, 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message because I won't respond if you don't. And yeah, thanks, Cece. Join me on Facebook, Graham Williamson or Medium Graham Williamson. I do messenger, phone, letters, text, personal, physical. I love connecting. My energy, as you can tell, I get excited doing this. And I want you to be excited for your life to live a better life. Not worry about the change that's going to affect us all. I don't know how long I've got left on this earth. I'm not being miserable and macabre about it. I don't know. But I do know this. I'm going out with a smile and know I've given my best to my loved ones. I've channeled enough loved ones that have passed over to recipients and proved their aunts, uncles, brothers, nieces, nephews, friends, whatever. I've shown that they are still around. I've done trance work to help teach people about mediumship, about spirit. This is an ability mediums have. They choose to develop it or not. Some it's harder, for some it's easy, because we're all different. Our energy levels are different. But you have to know yourself and you have to raise your vibration. When I was talking to a friend, we were laughing away. And, I mean, we were like a couple of kids, some of the things we were saying to each other. And this is the joy of being a medium. You know the person that you're with is worthy of your friendship and trust. Because I know my energy and I know my friend's energy, and we're compatible. We are friends. We hardly have time to talk together, but I know beyond a doubt that person is my friend. That's how I know my wife is my friend as well. She has her own abilities. She channels different. She heals different to me. She doesn't do trance work. Her gift of channeling is in healing. But she's never trained for it. I've helped guide her for the 20 odd years we've been together. But she does it her way, and I love her to pieces. And she doesn't realize how much, well, I keep telling her for 20 odd years, how powerful she is. Her energy is off the chart. Just because she's experienced so much in her life, and she hasn't let it hold her back. And I'm hearing the front and off the noises here. What's that noise? Sorry about the noise, folks. But this is why I was. Thank you. I don't know what that noise was. But you see, things happen in your life, and it's how you work with it. You could get angry for being disturbed. You could be negative about stuff. But why be negative? That interfered with my show, but it shows how I responded was not negative. I choose to be positive. I choose to stay in positivity. It's learnt. You have a choice. Every one of us has a choice of being positive or negative. Oh, but you don't know what I've been through. I'm a recovered alcoholic. I've been in 3 major car accidents and survived without a scratch. I've held a bomb that should have gone off. My best friend was next to me when he got shot. Another very good friend took my warship and never came back from the Falklands. But am I miserable? I'm sad, yes. I miss my friends, and I know how lucky I've been. But I could say, I could stay there. Oh, what else is going to happen to me? But I don't. I lived for a reason, is to help you. And I'm your host of Dare to Dream. I'm Graham Williamson, International Intuitive, Evidential Medium and Psychic. I hope you'll join us July the 5th at 6 o'clock EST. And that show is going to be, as I said earlier, how to enhance your spiritual connection. Look at that, 5th of July. 2 days before my birthday. Yeah. And it's 3 days after July 4th. But I've got one of my daughters coming over from England with her husband on Sunday, the 25th. And I can't wait. I'm a big kid, but I'm still having my shows. So thank you for joining us. And I really am blessed having a friend like Cece to allow me to do these shows. And the show's on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network and Radio, TV and podcasts. We've reached over 4 million, nearly 5 million people this year alone. The #1 internet talk network going bold. And we are going bold. There's so many variety of shows that we have here. Please look us up. And all my shows are recorded. All the host shows are recorded. You can subscribe to them. Please like, share, make a comment. Come in my show. Make a comment. I've had a couple been put up by my friends here. Morning Star. I know, yeah, I'm going to give you an earache in a bit. But you see, this is what it's about. Enjoying what we do. But it is a serious business. I know that when you come back, you'll have fun as well. And I want to say, see you in July. Love to you all.